Welcome to day 63 of Mastering Astral Projection. I am your host, Sean Miller. So this is the balloon technique again, and this is a weird technique. I just worked with it for about an hour and 20 minutes. I incorporated it into my technique, and it's funny because what I did was I kind of expanded myself and imagined that I was helium and was slowly rising, but I did it really quickly because, usually with balloons that are filled with helium, they rise really fast. And, if you let go of the string of one, they're up and floating in the sky 100 feet up above you, like in seconds. So that's my relationship with balloons, and I found it easier to just imagine that I was floating. So I don't know if being a balloon is actually the right method. It's more like gravity has stopped functioning, like you were a hovercraft or something. So you're just slowly rising. Along with that comes a feeling of expansion, at least that's how it was for me. So I felt like first I was filling up with helium, which meant that I was like a balloon blowing up, but I was just floating, just very slightly, and then I could kind of bounce against the ceiling and move up through my attic and into the roof space. And I'm not sure how effective it is. I still haven't quite got the hang of it, but so Robert says a couple things at in the daily tips section. One is the goal is to fool the subconscious mind into accepting and allowing an OBE exit to begin. And this only temporarily works. So he said it's really important to be varying your exit techniques. So I've gotten pretty used to rotating in and out different techniques. In fact, tonight I even changed a little bit and imagined that I was pulling into my third eye as if the rope were connected into my third eye and extending outward at a 30-degree angle, and then I was reaching out and grabbing and pulling into the third eye. So that was kind of interesting. I also found something else that seemed to really shift energy for me. And energy, it's a very loose term, but it's the kind of the feeling that I was rising. And that was similar to the technique where you're doing your energy body loosening and you're descending in an elevator. I imagined that I was rising in an elevator, and it was a glass elevator and there were rocks, so I was moving against a rock wall, and I was moving fairly quickly up floor by floor. I started at floor 1000 and I went all the way up to floor 1100, and I really felt like my body was rising up. There were a couple of things that I did today that really felt like my body was rising. That was one of them. That was really powerful for me. The other, if I can recall, when I was rising, I think it was a rope technique. I don't know. I remember. I was doing what was like an endless ladder, but it wasn't the regular extension ladder. It was the kind that folds, that has the little stoop at the very top that you set your paint can on or whatever. But I imagined that this ladder was just endlessly tall, and I could see the stoop before me, but I couldn't quite reach it because every time I would step up, it would also go up with me. So I was always endlessly going after it like a carrot. The thing that was interesting about this ladder is that, those ladders have an angle to them, so I never really felt like I was falling backwards, and I felt like I was kind of leaning into it. And then those ladders have very wide steps, so when my hand would touch it, I would have a larger grasp rather than grasping onto a small pole. It was more like I was grabbing onto a flat step. So once I got the hang of that, that was pretty powerful for me as well. this is the end of week 9, so we'll be stepping into week 10 tomorrow, and this is going to be troubleshooting. I've already started the chapter and was incorporated a couple of the techniques to troubleshoot things. One of the things I'll tell you about now is that I did a lot more energy work today, and I felt like my body was responding to it. So, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Anyway, my dream last night, I was in a bar, like a casino bar, and I had a pack of clove cigarettes, and somebody stole them. Don't know what that's about. Anyway, see you tomorrow.